Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a... Hold on.
Oh my god, that was so loud! My ears.
I'll turn it down. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our first non-book reader review for Season 2 of The Wheel of Time. I'm joined once again by Caitlin.
Hey!
It's been almost 2 years and Caitlin still hasn't picked up the books, which is both bad and good news because it means she's able to give us all her fresh, hot takes that us book fans are too biased and blinded to see. We were both fortunate enough to be invited to a screening of the first 2 episodes in London.
Well, we applied.
Well, we applied and were lucky enough to get in, yeah. But there were free snacks and drinks and a goodie bag, which we thought we'd just quickly show you what we got. So firstly, we got this lovely tote bag. Not the best printing in the world. The black...
I insult them, it's not that bad.
The blacks are a little crushed. I mean, you can't really make out the logo that well. But it's a tote bag. It's good for the environment. It
was free.
It was free. And in the tote bag, we have a copy of The Great Hunt, the second book in the Wheel of Time series, with a nice little bookmark as well. And we also got some popcorn that we forgot to eat during the premiere, so we can enjoy that now, actually.
Hooray!
So, diving straight into episode 1, what were some of your favourite parts from the episode?
So I really liked the opening with the dark friends all around a table. I really thought the girl might get fed to the Trolloc. I wasn't sure where that was going to go.
There was a moment where I was thinking this could turn out to be something out of a Stephen King novel. Anything else from episode 1 you enjoyed?
So I have to say less scenes kind of stood out in episode 1. I mean, I don't think it was the most exciting episode, but it was definitely a good reminder of where everyone's at. But yeah, in terms of standout moments, I think there are less highlights than in the other 2.
I agree. I think episode 1 did a great job at catching everybody up, but perhaps wouldn't have felt as good if we weren't able to watch episode 2 immediately afterwards. And what were some of your least favourite parts from the episode?
I suppose I didn't love kind of Moraine being stuck in that villa.
On her holidays.
Yeah, just the kind of lack of movement there. I just felt a little bit frustrated. I was like, nothing's happening here. When Bail Domond arrived, everyone in the cinema seemed so excited, but I just found it a very normal exchange, fairly mundane. I just didn't find any of that super interesting until Moraine decided to leave. Speaking
of Moraine, you were such a big fan of her in season 1 that I've decided to introduce a new segment to these non-book reader reviews called Caitlin's Moraine Moment of the Week. So every episode I'm going to ask you for a Moraine moment that particularly struck a chord with you. So what would be your Moraine moment of the week for episode 1?
So I really loved how, I think it was the first shot of Moraine we got. She was collecting water, and I just loved how ordinary and it was requiring physical strength, nothing to do with magic or power. And then when she got in the bath, she couldn't warm it up like she had done when she was in there with Lan in season 1. I just thought that was such a great way to illustrate how things have changed.
So moving on to episode 2, what were your favourite moments from that episode?
Sean-chan. I was so happy when they popped up. I just think their costumes are amazing. I love the skull armor, and they just add so much excitement to the show.
Anything else?
I liked when Leandrin's son appeared. I like that they're kind of exploring her backstory, or I hope they will, and give us a little bit more information because I'm quite intrigued by that. And then Matt digging himself out and finding Min, I thought was a really good moment as well.
And what didn't you like from that episode?
I have to say I haven't been super into Perrin's story until the fight broke out with the Sean-chan. Yeah, I'm just not finding it as gripping as the other storylines.
And of course, your Moraine moment from episode 2.
So obviously this was a very difficult scene, but when she said goodbye to Lan, I think it was just quite emotional, and when she said they weren't equals, it was quite a shocking moment. So I guess that's the one that that stands out to me the most.
Because she can't lie, do you think when she says they're not equals, how are you interpreting that?
So I am wondering if now that she's lost her one power, maybe she can lie now? Because I just feel like she definitely wouldn't have said that about Lan, unless she meant it in a positive way.
And now episode 3, the one we watched most recently, freshest in your mind. What did you enjoy from episode 3?
When that man was pushed into the spike.
Uno.
Yeah, that was a crazy moment. That was really shocking in its brutality.
It was shocking. I can confirm.
Yeah, I think your mouth was hanging open the whole time.
Kind of was, yeah.
That was quite a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then I really loved the twist with Nynaeve, the fact that she was actually still in the arch and hadn't left, as we were all kind of led to believe.
And what didn't you like from episode 3?
I guess I thought Arch 1 and 2 were a bit of a letdown. They just seemed a little bit too easy.
Too easy.
And if Arch 3 hadn't come along, I would have really been like...
Becoming an Aes Sedai is easy. Like, anyone can do this. Sign me up. I'll go through those 2 arches.
Well, they just bigged it up way too much, I think. But then Arch 3 was just so heartbreaking to leave your daughter. Everyone else who could look after her is being killed. There's an army of Trollocs on their way. That was a really heartbreaking moment. So I think you really felt for her.
You haven't mentioned much of Rand. What about his storyline in Cairhien?
I'd say that he's maybe my second least favourite after Perrin's.
You're not enjoying his sexual awakening with Celine?
I don't know, I guess it's just so in contrast to season 1, where they've suddenly amped up the sex. I mean, Rand's very attractive, so it's always nice to see the steamier scenes.
Although I would say that the final scene of him and Celine getting it on when he starts to channel and he comes at the camera mouth open as if it's an episode of Peep Show, that was a bit off-putting, I have to say. Not Rand's sexiest hour. And unfortunately, we don't have any Moraine in episode 3, so we can't do our Moraine moment. But we can talk about the plethora of new characters that we've seen. Of the new ones who were introduced, who's your favourite?
Definitely Elaine.
I thought it would be.
Yeah, I just think she's really charming in her own way. And it's funny, with some of the things that she says, you'd think that she wouldn't be, but somehow...
She could come across as quite pretentious.
Yeah, but somehow she is really likeable.
We were also introduced for the first time to Verin Sedai. What do you think of Verin?
I felt like she might have a bit of a more sinister side.
Okay.
But I guess since I'm Team Moraine, and I feel like she threatened her somewhat, that's maybe why.
And of course, Rand's new love interest, Celine.
So I get the feeling that there may be more to Celine. You know, they had that funny exchange where they were, one's trying to remember someone, one's trying to forget someone else. So, you know, it's not going to be some romantic love story. Maybe she's a dark friend. I wouldn't be surprised.
We do have a new actor, Donald Finn, playing Matt. What did you think of new Matt?
I mean, I think they look really similar, which is good for continuity. He seems a little bit more light-hearted, a slightly less dark and kind of tortured Matt, which I'm enjoying. And I'm liking his interactions with Min. I'm quite intrigued about that, especially when we found out that Liandrin was kind of controlling her. Quite intrigued what their endgame is and what Liandrin has over Min. So now I have a question for you, Elliot.
Okay.
I think it would be nice if every week you had your own section around the best kind of cinematography and visual scenes. So starting with episode 1.
Let me just pick this off the top of my head.
This isn't planned at all.
So I think for episode 1, I'm going to pick the final scene where Moraine is battling the Fates. It's kind of more of a sequence than just one shot, but it just really felt like a sort of classic horror film. The way they used light and dark and the Fades kind of melted into the shadows and then reappeared. I just thought that that was a really clever and visually interesting way to make the Myrddraal more scary and effective killers.
And what about episode 2?
Okay, so for episode 2, I'm going to say the first time that we see the Sean Shan and Lady Suroth on that impressive pyramid being carried in by all those servants. I thought that was just a really cool piece of set design. And it also kind of tells you a lot about their culture just in that one prop. The fact that you've got, you know, servants down at the bottom and then the nobles up on the top. It really shows you that this is a culture with a harsh hierarchy.
And finally, episode 3.
For episode 3, I am going to go with a single shot, and that is the introduction to the scene in the palace at Cairhien. I'm assuming it's the palace of Cairhien. The set design was incredible, from the costumes to the candles, the flowers, the food, the lighting, and the way the camera sweeps down from above, giving you enough time to take in all this detail. Just a really, really brilliant establishing shot. So as we've left things at the end of episode 3, Nynaeve has just come out of the third archway, Rand is committing arson, Matt and Min seem to be going off on their own little adventure, and Perrin is running off with the wolves. Which plot line are you most excited to see continued?
Probably Nynaeve and Egwene's.
Okay.
I think I've found what's been going on in the tower the most interesting. So I'd like to see what happens with Nynaeve. Will she continue to be trained by Leandrin and where that will go? Will Egwene go through the arches? That's the plotline I'm most excited about.
So finally, I'm going to get you to rank the episodes, and then hopefully by the end of the season we'll have a whole ranking of, I think there's going to be 8 episodes. But episodes 1 to 3, how do you rank them?
I would put episode 2 on top, then episode 3, then episode 1.
So thank you everybody for watching our first non-book reader review of episodes 1 to 3 of season 2 of The Wheel of Time. Next weekend, I'm away at MalkiriCon, so our next non-book reader review will probably be in a couple of weeks' time, and we'll cover episodes 4 and 5. So please subscribe to the channel if you'd be interested in seeing that.
And please let us know what you thought of the first 3 episodes in the comments down below. We would love to read them.
We really would. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.